Hi everyone, my name's MadMatt Lugos and welcome back to The Last of Us Remastered. So, last time we sort of arrived at the area where St Mary's Hospital is. We had to make our way through a bit of an underground tunnel section that was full of infected. Had to deal with 3 bloaters. And really the important thing that happened was that Joel and Ellie really sort of solidified their relationship as their father-daughter relationship, really. Um, Ellie gave Joel back his picture of him and Sarah, and Joel sort of finally, after 20 long years, accepted that he can't just forget about it. That he can't just forget about his life, forget about Sarah, and that he has to really just sort of accept that it's a part of him and talk about it and acknowledge that that she was there. I guess for his whole life he's just been trying not to bring it up, trying not to think about it, and really that's not really got him anywhere. And Ellie's made him realise that it's a good thing to still talk about her. So Joel looks like he may have mellowed a little bit now that he's got that bit of solidarity, bit of catharsis. And Ellie's been a bit quiet, after the whole thing with David, or maybe because it looks like we're finally getting towards the Fireflies. But it's weird though, because there's been a few times in this game where it's looked like we're just about to find the Fireflies, and we've just sort of been pulled away, or they've not been there, or we've got attacked, so we've been pulled away at the last moment. So that might happen again. I mean, I've still got quite a lot of upgrades I can get, so there might be quite a lot of game left. I have no idea. So we've got the hospital in view, but again, we've not seen any people. It feels a bit similar to the science building in the university where, we couldn't find anyone. So maybe this will just be another abandoned situation. Right, what have we got? Oh. I'm running out of air here. Okay. Let's be a bit more efficient this time. Going right. Where on earth is this?
I need to get up there.
Alright, I'm going to head up this way. No idea why we're going up here, but... Oh god. Please, no, no one grab me. Okay. No loot. Alright, bossy.
Get on.
Okay. Okay, there. Come on.
They've
Be
been
careful.
I got.
They've been making plans about where they might go afterwards, so you know they're not in a business relationship anymore. You know, it's they're a family, I guess. That's the best way of putting it. All right, you got a plank. Oh, the ladder. That sounds very secure.
Damn ladder broke off the wall.
Now what?
I'll figure something out.
Okay. Well, that means I've got to swim back again. God, the swimming is a bit awkward, I have to say. Where did you come from? That wasn't there before. Not got much ammo left in that. Not got much ammo left in anything. All right. So yeah, we've dealt with so many dramatic things at this point. Like it's, I'm just sort of wondering what horrible thing's gonna happen next, because we've got a bit of. Everything feels a little bit more secure now, doesn't it? Yeah, it does still feel abandoned though, doesn't it? Those spores.
Oh boy.
Just let me go ahead, and you follow my lead.
Okay, right behind you.
That is flowing fast, man. What? That is flowing so fast, dude. And that is wobbling. Oh, this is so budget, man. Come on, kid. Alright, that vent. Why won't you go up? Okay. This vent looks treacherous. What? Why didn't he jump? Am I stuck now? Are you serious? There's no way you could swim against that current. Why didn't he jump? That's so annoying. Yes, Joel, go.
Okay, come on, jump.
You're gonna catch me?
I got you. See? You didn't even need me.
Let's get the hell off this thing.
Yes, please. God, stop moving so slow, Joel. The movement is a bit sticky in this. Doesn't feel as fluid as Uncharted. I know Joel's older. He's probably in his 50s, isn't he? But oh god.
Ellie, move.
What? Go. Okay, this is very, very bad. Don't snap. What are you doing? Oh god, she's in the water. Joel, can you move, please? I cannot see anything. There she is. Come on. Oh god, there's... Come on, it's not been that long. No way she's dead after that long. No way.
Hands in the air!
She's not breathing.
Hands in the fucking air!
Oh, shut up. There's no way she died. They had Firefly armbands on.
Welcome to the Fireflies.
Ugh.
Sorry about that. They didn't know who you were.
And Ellie?
She's all right. They brought her back. You came all this way. How'd you do it?
It was her. She fought like hell to get here. Maybe it was meant to be.
I lost most of my crew crossing the country. I pretty much lost everything. And then you show up, and somehow we find you just in time to save her. Maybe it was meant to be.
Take me to her.
You don't have to worry about her anymore. We'll take care
I
of her.
worry. Just let me see her, please.
You can't. She's being prepped for surgery.
Surgery?
The hell do you mean, surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine. A vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
It does.
Find someone else.
There is no one else.
Listen, you were gonna show me where she...
Stop. I get it. But whatever it is you think you're going through right now is nothing to what I have been through. I knew her since she was born. I promised your mother I would look after her.
Then why are you letting this happen?
Because this isn't about me, or even her. There is no other choice here.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
March him out of here. He tries anything, shoot him. Don't waste this gift, Joel.
Get up. I said get up.
Buddy. They should have cuffed him, man.
I said move. Give me an excuse. Which way? What the fuck are you doing? Keep walking. I said keep walking. Where was the operating room? I ain't got time for this. Where? Where?
Top floor, the far end.
Oh God. This is so bad. I know that... Okay, these will probably be useful. Should I just... Oh, whatever. Sort of stuck here now. Okay.
Holy shit! Put him down, asshole.
I need a health kit. Am I? I had one of each, right? Oh. Oh. Missed. Bursts, short bursts. How much of a rush should I be in here? Like, should I be looking in all locations? Okay. Still giving me bills. Alright, let's just get healing speed. And crafting speed. No, no. Oh, come on. I was flanked. So the arrows aren't going to do these guys in one hit, so they're kind of useless. I haven't got a melee weapon, right? Maybe if one of them doesn't have full body armor on. Yeah, that's the trick. Oh, I haven't picked it up yet. See, why does it do this with the... Where's the machine gun? See, now I don't have the AK. Got two more. Oh, this is so annoying. Where's the machine gun? Okay. They've all got helmets on, so the headshots are kind of useless, right?
Where is this guy?
Okay, now we're cooking. Still can't craft anything. Alright, I think that's it. Quarantine area. Crud. Come on.
Surround him! Keep him down.
Where's the restart point? Come on.
Down there.
just respawning me right in front of a dude.
Hear what I... He's over here!
Still nothing. Oh, he's got ammo. It's more like it. Top floor, right? They weren't that close behind me. Everything topped up.
Marlene was right. The girl's infection is like nothing I've ever seen. The cause of her immunity is uncertain. As we've seen in all past cases, the antigenic titers of the patient's cordyceps remain high in both the serum and the cerebrospinal fluid. Blood cultures taken from the patient rapidly grow cordyceps and fungal media in the lab. However, white blood cell lines, including percentages and absolute counts, are completely normal. There is no elevation of pro-inflammatory cytokines, and an MRI of the brain shows no evidence of fungal growth in the limbic regions, which would normally accompany the prodrome of aggression in infected patients. We must find a way to replicate this state under laboratory conditions. We're about to hit a milestone in human history equal to the discovery of penicillin. After years of wandering in circles, we're about to come home, make a difference, and bring the human race back into control of its own destiny. All of our sacrifices and the hundreds of men and women who've bled for this cause, or worse, will not be in vain.
So they don't really know, do they? He said we must find a way, so they don't necessarily have a cure, a way to do it. Yeah, so they don't necessarily have a way to cure it.
There you go.
Yeah, they don't have a way to cure it, and it's not going to affect the people who are already infected, right? It's not going to cure them. Alright, I'm going to prioritise this. Just because if I get a few of them together, they're quite heavily armed, it's quite useful, isn't it? So still can't craft a bleeding health kit. Let's make sure we're locked and loaded. Nothing, no supplies. Oh, come on. We're in a tricky spot here because they might have a cure for humanity, but I'm pretty low on health. Marlene's journal? Oh, come on, Marlene. We finally crossed the Utah border. In a couple of days we'll be back with the others. Today the crew is in much better spirits. I've been worried about their morale since Greg and Tanya's passing last week. It's good to hear them laughing again. Robin came up to me and said, "Thanks for watching over us, Marlene. It was a small gesture, but I needed it." Ellie never made it. We arrived at... Oh, sorry. Ellie never made it. We arrived at the hospital. There was much celebration, at least from the others. I guess they're happy to see they're all friends. We haven't seen some of these guys in over 10 years. After they told me the news, I couldn't eat, I couldn't talk to anyone. I should be grateful just to be alive, but right now I just want to shut my eyes for a bit. They look at me and I know what they're thinking, that we're a bunch of incompetent grunts. What was I supposed to do? I thought I was going to die. My men were being hunted by the entire Boston battalion. I had to get her out of the city. How was I supposed to know that the Firefly escorts were already dead? God damn it. I panicked. In the end, I healed pretty damn quickly and my men were more capable than I gave them credit for. More than a handful survived the army's attack. I should have kept her with me. Instead, I handed her off to a couple of smugglers. I failed you at it. I failed all of us. I am an incompetent grunt. I can't stand talking to any of them. I don't think I can take their stares any longer. No way I can stay here. One of our scouts just radioed in. He spotted an older man and a young girl entering the tunnel by the bus terminal. He thinks she might have had red hair, but he's not sure. What if that's her? Stop doing this, Marlene. The recon squad is about to head out. I'm going to join them. When you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. She's alive. They're running the tests on her now. I can't tell if I'm excited, scared, or just nervous. All I know is my hands won't stop shaking. So she's under a tremendous amount of pressure from everyone here to deliver, really. Saw someone through that window.
Yeah, that's it. I'm coming, Ellie.
Just let me double check. No. Don't think this will work, but they're not clickers after all.
Fuck!
What there are?
Search out here.
There's
We'll check over that way. Got any surprises for me? Huh?
Shit. over there.
Why did you throw it up there?
You got any surprises for me? What you got? Nothing.
Oh, fuck!
Watch my back.
Come on, buddy. There were 2 left. Can't believe I just wasted 2 shots from that. 3 shots. Dude, stop just scrambling across. What? You're not dead? Oh, there's no way I'm gonna make it here, man.
That should buy me some time.
Oh. What's in here?
Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing in here? I won't let you take her. This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save. Don't come any closer. I mean it.
Dude, I don't want to shoot you. You doctors. What?
Fucking animal!
Carrie, shut the hell up.
Ellie.
Come on, baby girl. I got you. I got you. Oh, shit.
Run. Giraffes.
I'm getting you out of here, girl. I got you. I got you. Come on. Damn it, which way? We're okay.
How did they not shoot and see me and shoot me then?
I said get back!
Don't know if this was the right idea. I mean, we're going to be on the run from the Fireflies forever now.
You can't save her. Even if you get her out of here, then what? How long before she's torn to pieces by a pack of clickers? That is, if she hasn't been raped and murdered first.
It ain't for you to decide.
It's what she'd want. And you know it. Look. You can still do the right thing here. She won't feel anything.
Did he relent?
What the hell am I wearing?
Huh.
Just take it easy. Drugs are still wearing off.
What happened?
We found the Fireflies. Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that are immune. There's dozens, actually. Ain't done 'em a damn bit of good, neither. They've stopped looking for a cure. They're taking us home. I'm sorry.
What?
Wait! Let me go. Please.
You just come after her.
Was that not the end?
Looks like we're walking. Should be a straight shot through here.
Oh, we're Ellie now.
All right.
It's actually kind of pretty, ain't it?
Yeah.
How did we do with the comics? Book 1, Book 2, Book 3. Oh, I missed, where was Book 4? Book 5, Book 6. I missed Book 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another 12, is that how many there were? Doesn't say if it's the final one, does it? 0 points sounds pretty final though. So what, so I missed like 2 or 3? Thought I was pretty thorough with my searching, man.
Alright. Now watch your head going through.
Here. I got it.
Feeling my age now.
That's a pretty hefty lie he told, man. I mean,
I
surely.
don't think I ever told you, but Sarah and I used to take hikes like this. I think the two of you would have been good friends. I think you really would have liked her. I know she'd have liked you.
I bet I would have.
Yeah, I'm just thinking now, like, the whole... Is this even a healthy way for Joel to deal with it? The whole substitute Sarah kind of scenario. Where he's not really dealing with it, he's just replacing her. Because that's what he's essentially done, you know, the cure for mankind. Oh. Singularity, but it's but 13. The travellers have been crippled for now. Daniela's daring plan and her seemingly miraculous escape back home has made her a galvanising figurehead to the Last Watch. Captain Ryan's sacrifice has made him a martyr. An illusion Daniela won't dispel, but how long can she keep what really happened a secret? Oh, missed like 4 then. Yeah, it's just that it's the whole group versus the individual choice, really, isn't it? You know, do you make a decision for the greater good that ultimately means you can't live with yourself because you sacrifice, you know, the whole, you know, what's the value of one life? I mean, Joel's not someone who respects life necessarily. This is something that's personal for him, so is it a selfish decision? Obviously he's saving Ellie's life, so it's selfless in that sense, but he killed... How many soldiers did we kill trying to get her back? 20? So it's not really necessarily about the life of the individual, because Joel wouldn't be killing anybody if that was the dilemma. It's more... He couldn't stand to lose someone again.
Oh. Down there.
That Tommy's community.
Just a little bit further now.
But at the same time, were the doctors there being a bit hasty? I mean, it seems a bit ridiculous that they needed to chop her up immediately. I can see someone down there. Is that Tommy? Yeah, Tommy. Just people walking in the street like normal life. Yeah, because like in that little voice recording, you know, the guy said, we have to find a way. He didn't say that they knew what they were doing. So that casts a bit of doubt. I mean, why did they have to be so hasty with operating on it? That's what I find a little strange.
I got you. Give me your hand. All right, come on.
Hey, wait. Back in Boston, back when I was bitten, I wasn't alone. My best friend was there, and she got bit too. We didn't know what to do. So, she says, let's just wait it out. You know, we can be all poetic and just lose our minds together. I'm still waiting for my turn.
Ellie.
Her name was Riley, and she was the first to die.
From the pendant that
And
she
then it was
had.
Tess. And then Sam.
None of that is on you.
You don't understand.
I struggled for a long time with surviving. And you,
The
no
watch.
matter what, you keep finding something to fight for. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear right now.
Swear
but
to
it's-
me. Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's really a tricky one, because I'll just get the volume on the music a bit lower. Yeah, like, his decision, it's not necessarily about Ellie, is it? It's about himself. Like, why is he saving Ellie? Is he lying because he knows she's gonna decide to go back? Is he lying because he thinks she's gonna hate him for the decision? I mean, killing Marlene. I mean, we know how close Ellie was with Marlene. It's like a foster mother, essentially, right? It's tough, you know, in an apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic world, or sort of during apocalyptic world like this. Your realms of morality sort of blurred, right? You know, the value of life changes in a different world. You know, like the value of life 500 years ago was different than it is now, you know, due to a multitude of reasons, you know, whether it's disease or famine or poverty or war, you know, but, you know, or maybe your belief is that life is life. Company mascot. Pogo and trumpet. Okay. Yeah, whether that you have an absolute attitude towards the value of life, or whether it's a more fluid sort of value of life, whether you would say, like, in the way society is now, like in a modern society, in a peaceful law-abiding country, whether, you know, life, then the value of life goes up and the importance of preserving life goes up. But then if you're in a more brutal country, or a brutal time period, or a brutal scenario, does the value of life decrease? You know, the one sticking point I've got really is the fact that they went to surgery straight away. Just seemed a little bit hasty. I mean, if they thought Joel was going to be a problem, why couldn't they let him just have one last talk with her? And then she could say, you know, I mean, did they not even let her wake up after she was unconscious after being in the water? Did they just sedate her and then put her straight in the operating theatre? I mean, is the last thing she remembers drowning, really, before she woke up in the car? I mean, if they did, that's a bit cold, especially for Marlene. You know, if she did care about her that much, she could have given her a day. Surely she could have given her a day, a last meal, something. I think that's I feel like the hastiness to which that they've decided to operate on her is a bit of a plot device. I'm not a big... as amazing as the writing is in that game, that is a bit of a sticking point to me. I don't see why she had to be operated on immediately. I know that they said it's mutated and they were eager to get things sorted, but why did it have to be so quick? Especially considering it's Marlene who's in charge. How close she was to Ellie. Why did it have to be so quick? Why couldn't she have had some time? To say bye to Joel, to say bye to Marlene, to, like I said, have a last meal or something. That's the one frustrating part for me here is that sort of quick. I know the game's moved at a pace like that in general, but it just seems it's not like we're dealing with a bunch of the Fireflies weren't a bunch of instinctual. They weren't like a horrible group of people like the cannibals or the hunters. I know that there was probably a lot of military with them, but there were doctors there. Surely they would have a firmer grasp of morality in terms of she deserves a last day or a last week or a month. Give her a decision, let her make the decision, but kind of tell her maybe if we're not going to let you leave, but we're going to give you some time to say goodbye to people and just have a final bit of your life where you're conscious and that what you're doing, that you're going to be dying. Give her the choice. That's my the character writing and the story writing's been pretty solid throughout this, but that feels like a bit of a sticking point to me. Let me know what you think. I mean, did I miss a bit of dialogue? Am I forgetting a bit of dialogue where they specifically said if they don't do it now, something was going to go wrong, it was going to mute? I know they said it had mutated, but I can't... A day would not have mattered. It really wouldn't... That's my one sticking point. It feels like that was just an excuse then for Joel to go on his rampage. Obviously they didn't know how close that they'd become. He's just a smuggler. Marlene couldn't have known how close they'd become. None of them could. But I suppose in terms of I think Joel could have come round to the decision and let Ellie go under the knife if it was her telling him that. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fact that it all felt forced and it was against her will and everything, that's made the decision more of a dilemma, in terms of the whole saving the world or saving yourself, being selfish or being selfless kind of choice there. It's kind of muddied by the whole lack of Ellie's choice. And I know Marlene said it's what she would have wanted. And it probably is what she would have wanted. But we never got to hear her declaratively say that. Yeah. Bit tricky. That's the bit that's sort of bothering me a little. Because it seems like it just facilitates Joel and his instinct to protect, because she's kind of being put under the knife against her will. I'm really rambling now, but yeah. But in terms of Joel's decision, he just couldn't stand to lose someone again when it was sort of something being fought. I think that's what it ultimately comes down to, is that they were trying to take her away. She wasn't leaving. I think Joel wouldn't have had such a father's protective reaction if Ellie was just telling him, like, no, stop, I have to do this and all this. He could eventually somehow come round to it. Yeah, so that's why I think the decision feels a little bit... It's not as clear, it's not as black and white as saving the world or you know, saving yourself. It's not as clear as that, just because of the way the Fireflies dealt with it. Because in that sense, I don't necessarily have as much of a problem with Joel deciding to save her as I would have if Ellie had voluntarily known what she was doing going into it, and Joel had just gone murdered and rescued her against her will. Then it would have been a purely selfish decision. But because there's a lack of decision from Ellie, that's why I think the decision isn't as cut and dry. Let me know what you think though, guys. It was interesting, you know, because I've just played Life is Strange, and obviously we didn't choose them, but the choice at the end of Life is Strange, spoiler alert, is a similar sort of thing where it's like save your friend or save a community. This is a bit more grand scale, isn't it, because you're saving humanity. But yeah, well, it's been a fantastic game, I have to say. A real roller coaster. My only complaints would be Joel deciding to drive into the Hunter's City. Just, you know, when he said screw it and drove in. That felt daft. That felt really daft. And the Fireflies putting her in for surgery straight away just felt like lazy. Not lazy writing, but you know, it just felt like there was no need for it. But I might have missed something in the dialogue in terms of the surgery. But they did a really good job of the character writing here, making us feel like we spent like we really knew some of the characters, even though we didn't necessarily spend much time with them. I felt like I knew Tess quite well. I felt like I knew Bill quite well. Henry and Sam, felt like I knew them quite well. Obviously Ellie and Joel, even Tommy, you know. One thing that is a problem in games, because obviously the standard of writing is not usually as high as other as film or TV or stage writing some of the time. But in games like this, you know, games like Life is Strange that I've just played, games like The Witcher 3, they really, the one thing that a lot of games forget to do is to put small details into characters, just little things that they like or dislike, little idiosyncrasies that are key to making a character seem real. It was a problem that I had in Horizon Zero Dawn, where Aloy, as an awesome as a game that was, where I really, by the end of it, I couldn't really say anything about Aloy. She was a strong, headstrong character, but you didn't really know any little things about her. You knew the big plot points about her, like why, she never knew her. She didn't have any parents. She wanted to know who her mother was and all that stuff. But they're sort of big points, aren't they? Like Joel losing Sarah is a big point, but there's lots of throwbacks to that. You know, particularly with the watch. Joel never mentioned the watch himself once. Like Ellie pointed out the watch. Oh, your watch is broken. There was the bit where we were on our way to the Capitol building and Ellie was talking and Joel looked at her and he just had a little glance at his watch, you know. And then when was it? Just then? Was it when he was? There's been a few other times. I think when he woke up next and Marlene was there at the end there. He touched his watch, you know, his broken watch. It's been smashed now, but he keeps it on because it was the last thing Sarah ever gave to him. You know, little things like that. You know, that he wanted to be a singer when he was a kid. You know, that he liked country music when we were in the car. You know, that he's a real protector, that he wanted to protect his daughter, that he wanted to protect Tess, that he wanted to protect his brother when they were still together before Tommy went off with the Fireflies. You know, little things like that. And just as a comparison, like in Horizon Zero Dawn, you don't really get any insight into Aloy like that. Or like in The Witcher 3, I know that they're leaning on a narrative backdrop from the books, but they convey it in the games just as well. Like with Geralt, like the things he doesn't like, you know, little things. You know, he hates portals and, you know, things like that. that just make them feel like real people, and they did a fantastic job with that in this. Like with Tess feel, you could, you know, when we were just as we were taking Ellie through on our way to the Capitol building, sorry, she was talking about, you know, this is our chance for sort of redemption. You know, she was sick of the grind, of the running and gunning, of the smuggling, of all that stuff. She wanted to do something good. You know, she said, "Oh, me and you, Joel, you know, oh, we're shitty people." She was tired of that. It was weighing on her soul. She wanted to do something good again. And you know, and Bill, you know, he'd isolated himself to the point where, I mean, he wasn't getting any joy out of life. He'd pushed away his I think it was his boyfriend, wasn't it? His lover, whatever. Frank. It was Frank, wasn't it? Frank. And he pushed him away, and there was like a little, it was, you know, although Bill never really isn't the most didn't express it in a sort of particularly soft way, you know. You could tell that really upset him, that he'd been left alone by Frank, through his own fear, really, and that's sort of what made him really prickly. And you know, that's an insight into them, and you know, like an insight into Sam and Henry. You know, Henry wanted to ride a motorcycle, and he never got to do it. Sam wondering about whether the zombies are still people inside. You know, just little things about their characters. You know, like about Tommy, how, you know, Joel was saying, oh, he just quits everything. He probably quit that too. You know, how Tommy was a bit, don't know how to describe it, like a bit more sense of, not morality is the wrong word, but of, you know, the trauma he was going through, surviving the way he was with Joel. He couldn't do it anymore. He wanted to live like a real person. So yeah, the characters were excellent. The gameplay, you know, was alright. It feels very similar. The shooting, at least, felt pretty similar to Uncharted, and I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of Uncharted gunplay anyway. I know Uncharted is a bit more nimble, and you can move a lot more because of the platforming, and Joel felt a lot heavier and stickier because, you know, he couldn't jump. He's an older character, and the combat had a really good weight to it and heft to it. The explosions, the fist fights, like, you know, you really felt really heavy punches, and the thuds. But you know, I've never been too fussed on the Uncharted gameplay, and this kind of the same. The shooting, I can you know, give or take it. The crafting element was good though. I like scavenging. I'm a bit you know, I always like to explore levels and see what I can find. We got a good insight into the world and the struggles people went through, trying to establish, you know, whether it was living in the quarantine zones, whether it was dealing with bandits, whether it was trying to establish their own little communities like Ish in the underground sewers. People you know, we got insights into the various different stages of the breakdown of society, like when we saw about people were defending their homes, and it went back to a bartering system where people were trading ammo for food just from house to house, from door to door, before they went to the quarantine zones. Like in the university, how people thought they were going to get evacuated, and they were in fact stranded in their dorm rooms with the infected running around in the squares outside. The infected were suitably terrifying. I mean, the stalkers were a bit lame, I got to admit, but you know, the runners, the clickers, and the bloaters were all pretty awesome. The stalkers were a bit weird. They just sort of were playing hide and seek. It just seemed like an odd level of intelligence for the zombies to have, to want to hide. I felt that was a little bit weird. I felt like that could have maybe been the first stage. You know, if they're still sort of partly human, you know, their fear, the part of your brain that deals with fear might still be active, and that's why they hide a bit more, and then they only attack when you get close. Maybe that should have been the first stage in the runner, because the runner's quite aggressive, aren't they? They probably should have been the second stage, I feel. Yeah, the clickers were scary. The crafting, and I was playing on hard, you know, it was challenging. I definitely failed miserably at a few points, like the bit with Bill when we were in the school, and the bit with the sniper. My days, I was bad on that bit, but like I said, I'm not always great with shooting games. I'm here for the story. I'm always here for the story. That's why I play games generally. And Music was really good. It is a bit samey, you know, the strings, but you know, it gives the game an identity, gives it a minimalism that sort of fits the world, the way nature's taken over most of the human structures and the human architecture. And you know, there's some interesting themes, you know, whether the whole sort of playing as a potentially, don't know whether you want to view Joel as a bad person or whether he's just living in a bad world, you know, because probably everyone in this world has had to kill someone or something, just because that's the way the world is. So maybe Joel isn't all that bad, but we've had insights into the horrible things he did, and maybe when he was a hunter, probably what him and Tess were doing, they probably weren't good people. I mean, when we were walking around the QZ, you know, that guy was like, don't you know who that is, you know, don't talk to him like that. So, you know, Joel was feared quite a bit by the people who knew who he was. And, you know, maybe you can say Joel's behaviour in that sense was fueled by his loss, by the trauma of losing Sarah. Maybe that's just the way he was. I mean, we saw before Sarah died, when it was at the start of the outbreak, how he didn't pick up that family when they drove past. You know, he left them there, and that was before he'd lost Sarah. So maybe that's just what Joel was like. He prioritises himself and his family, and, you know, sacks off the rest of the world, really. I don't necessarily think he was a bad person. He had a humanity to him. He was just a hard-nosed, you know. It is a bit, you know, the sort of cliched, you know, a guy who doesn't talk about his feelings and everything, you know, is a bit, you know, I've seen it in enough films, but he still worked well, and I think ultimately they made it seem like that aspect of Joel was to do with what had happened to him and his trauma, and less, I suppose, and you know, in the world that he's living in, the apocalyptic world that they're in, and less just that's who he is. You know, yeah, he'll have those tendencies, those survival tendencies, but you know, maybe he could have found another way if he hadn't lost Sarah. I mean, the only other threads that we didn't really get any insight into was Joel's wife, or you know, Sarah's mother. We're not really sure what happened to her. You know, when Ellie was talking to him about that, he just sort of cut her off and said, yeah, too much. So I'm not sure what happened to her. There were no pictures of them in the house from what I remember of her in the house, so maybe she left them early, because, you know, Joel said that they had Sarah when they were quite young, so maybe she left, or, you know, maybe she died or something like that. Who knows? I really liked Tess. I was gutted when we lost Tess. She was probably my favourite out of, you know, all the third party characters that we had who would be with us on missions. So we had Tess, Bill, Henry and Sam, didn't we? Tess was probably my favourite. I was gutted when we lost her. Oh yes, we had David as well, but I'm not gonna. Who would have liked David? What a scumbag that guy was. I was kind of onto him though, you know, just because his buddy boy less than him. The fact that they weren't on the same page, that was a bit of a red flag. Oh yeah, I'm not sure how I felt about that. That particular section, but you know, it was. I suppose in a world like this, when you want the characters to bond, it is more often than not going to be about over a traumatic encounter like that, isn't it? So, you know, it can't be a good game if I'm talking. It can't be a bad game if I'm talking this much about it. It was a fantastic experience. You know, probably the hardest hitting moments, probably losing Tess. And that whole, I got a bit emotional when we saw Tommy. Yeah, that felt like that whole. It was weird because Joel's hadn't really had any full-on declarative moments where at that point that were joyful to him, and just when him and Tommy saw each other and they gave him a big hug and he said, whatever, hello baby brother or whatever, good to see you baby brother, whatever. That was a really nice moment for me. And then, yeah, the bit in the house where Joel and Ellie hashed it out, that was quite emotional. That really felt like Joel had drawn his line in the sand, you know. He'd really just pushed her away at that point. You know, but let me know, who was your favourite sort of side character? Was it Henry and Sam? Was it Bill? Was it Marlene? Who knows? You know, did you enjoy the gameplay? You know, did you prefer dealing with the infected or with the human enemies? Did you like dealing with them? You know, yeah, it's just the movement style in the Naughty Dog games it's just a little sticky for me. I feel like in the sequel they should probably work on that a bit. But what I'll do now, guys, is I will play the DLC. I'll move on to that next, so you expect that coming up after this video. And then what I might do is, you know, I'm not going to start doing reaction videos, but I'll probably watch the trailer for The Last of Us 2 after I've played the DLC as well, so I can have a look at what's coming now that I am finally familiar with this game that everyone has been going on about so much for the past 6 years. So I hope you've enjoyed this series, guys. It's not quite over yet, obviously, because we've got the DLC. Don't know how long the DLC is, but we'll see. So I really hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I've enjoyed talking about it with all of you in the comments. So maybe leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed the conclusion. I really want to discuss what everyone thinks about Joel's decision. Do you think it was selfish? Do you think it was the right thing to do? Do you think it was a bit weird how they rushed her into surgery? Do you think that was a bit of a plot device, or was there something I missed that meant that was the right thing to do? If you haven't already, guys, don't forget to subscribe so you can join Clan Drummond and see me play more story-based games like this. If there's something you'd like to see me play, let me know in the comments. And just remember, everybody, never trust an on-crate. Right, I'll see you in the DLC.